these Europeans, these crazy, fluffy, hairy monsters would bake bread the size of like a baby, of two fat babies put together. And that's why we put the word 大列巴, 大 as in big, to emphasize that this is nobody should bake bread like this. What up, guys? Welcome back to Magpie. So this is part of a two-part filming run of Kuwait's in China and what they've done to our food. Today we're going to talk about 大列巴, which is a bread that I grew up with. Oftentimes not very nice, but comforting nonetheless. Enjoyed as a favorite amongst Northerners for nigh on over a century now. 大列巴 is essentially just a big loaf of bread, flavored with a little bit of rye. Now originally it would be rye bread because it was brought to us by the Russians. It's called 大列巴 in Chinese because we can't pronounce the word хлеб, which is the Russian word for bread. A lot of people think that this is a modern word or modern affectation, but this is not true. Russians have been around for ages. The northern capital of Heilongjiang is Harbin. Everything great about Harbin was made by the Russians. Eastern Europeans that came for very unfortunate reasons. The White Russians escaped and ended up first in Harbin and built some of the greatest pieces of architecture. For example, the modern hotel on Zhongyang, the St. Sophia Church, the Russian Orthodox churches. And one of the most important things that the Russians did in Harbin was create the Qiuling Shipingchang. Originally, it was called the Qiuling Yanghang, started by the businessman Ivan Yakovlevich Qiuling. And he was the man who gave us Harbin red sausages and хлеб, which is this big bread we're making today. Sorry for all the bullshit. The recipe is as thus. 120 grams of rye flour with 120 grams of water with 1.2 grams of yeast, which you can understand to be 100 to 100 to 1 by ratio of rye, water, yeast. Mixed into a slurry, put into a sealable container, fermented overnight. Essentially, it's making a starter, but this is mostly for flavor, not for leavening. This is my home version of the recipe because the recipe made in the factory is made with hops. No normal person is going to have hops at home. So we're going to use a very hoppy beer to replace it, which is an IPA. So I've got an IPA plus water to equal 500 grams. That mix in with the starter. And on top of that, add enough flour to equal 1 kilo of flour. So I've added 880 grams of bread flour. It should give you a 65% hydration. And then you want to add 2% by total flour weight of salt and 2% by total flour weight of yeast. And if you so wish, 40 grams or brown sugar. How autistic was that? Anyways, mix for 10 to 15 minutes until you get a nice smooth dough. This is a very forgiving dough. Dump it out onto your surface, flatten it out, and then just start bringing it all back together. There is no technique in this bread. All you're doing is packing it together. Once your bread is this shape, all you want to do is put it onto a baking tray. So if you don't have a proofing scenario at home, you can just use a flat tray plus this pot. And then you just put your dough on top and then put your pot on top. Now you have a sealed environment to proof your bread in. This way it can stay nice and moist and grow. You want this to double in size if you want a very fluffy loaf. But if you want an actual correct loaf, what you want to do is proof it a little bit short of twice, so it's kind of denser. And then you're going to let that rest for roughly 2 hours until you're ready to bake. You have to understand the concept of bread. This bread now is a joke. You could drop it from an airplane and wipe out a whole village from the kinetic energy. It's used for self-defense. You could attach it on your chest and use it as plate armor for a joust. It's stiff, man. It's not good. You buy it as a gift, as a gag, as a meme if you visit Harbin and you're going back home, but it wasn't always the case. Buying bread would have been such a flex because refined flour and eggs and butter were imported goods brought by the Europeans. 大列巴 actually showed up in restaurant menus over 100 years ago on Central Street. There's written records in 1920 at the very least of a restaurant that served a dish called 鸡子烤列巴. 鸡子, a son of chicken, was the northern Mandarin word for egg back then. So eggs on toast, which is a very European way to eat your bread. My grandma on my dad's side was a lady who grew up on Central Street, according to my father, wearing thick furs when Central Street still smelled like perfume and everything was cobblestones and horse-drawn carriages. And to my grandma, breakfast was salmon caviar, bishtiet, butter, and sourdough rye. хлеб, liaba. She was from that generation of Northern. The Europeans left us many great food history, so a lot of times people think that my restaurant is fusion food. It's based on Northern Chinese food, and they think, oh, that's fusion. That's not true, because where do you draw the line? In the same way that Harbin Hongchang is a Polish garlic sausage. But would you ever look at a Northern and say, that's not Northern food? You'd get your shit rocked. No, I'll fight you if you tell me it's not, if 小肚熏鸡 isn't northern food. So this made me think a lot. Like, it's one of the weird things that my dad's mom and my mom's dad, my grandpa from Shanghai, all ate European breads and European spreads in the same time during the 30s and early 40s in China. My grandpa, when he hears the word 熏鱼, he thinks about either the Shanghainese dish or a Jewish dish. We can talk about that later if you want. In the next episode. Anyways, yeah, bread was actually very important. And Canton bread is like sweet and disgusting and desserty according to the Europeans, which is not true. It's just styled after Hong Kong and Macau and Japan and Korea. Bake in small spaces and you need to be squishy and quick. Shokupan can be made in one day. Shokupan from knead to mix to proof to bake is 3 hours. Chlieb takes at least 2 days. Shokupan is in Pullman tin, so you can stack it up like bricks. So in a small room, you can make a lot. And the lack of fermentation flavors means you need to add milk and butter and sugar to it to make it stretchy and fluffy. But for me, for a northern boy, this is bread. For the Shanghainese in me, bread is croissant and palmier, pâte feuilletée, and it doesn't stop it from being Chinese. Anyways, so after it's been proofed, you can throw it into the oven. So I'll see you 2 hours from now. Yeah? All right, we're cutting it close. It's 5:25 right now. So this is 2 hours of proofing. No, 1 hour of proofing with 20 grams of starch. I have it sitting over my sous vide bath, so it's a little bit warm on the bottom. And this is how big a chlieb should be. Traditionally, they are not scored. The surface is air dried a little bit, so it's tacky, and then you bake it so the bottom, the sides blow out. Kind of like a macaron, right? So that is what we're gonna do here. And that goes into the oven. This size of bread goes into the oven at about $1.65 to $1.75 with as minimum fan as possible and steam, if you have it, for roughly 25 minutes, and then you bake it 35 minutes after the fact at about 180, just to color it. So it's the reverse of how you usually bake European bread, because our ovens in China are structured a little bit differently. Now afterwards, you will have this as an effect. This is what I mean. The top is a cap and the side blew out. This is 大列巴, where I'm from. If you are a bread geek from the West, this is not an impressive piece of bread to you. However, it's beery. It's yeasty, it's hoppy, and it's very comforting. It's how my platonic ideal of bread works. Like, this is our caramelized onion focaccia in the restaurant. I have sourdough tieja, I have ciabatta, I have focaccia, I have so many beautiful breads. But when I miss home and I miss that quintessential like dinner table of my youth vibes, what I want is a piece of chlieb. When it's fresh, it's so good. And one of my favorite ways to have it, you will be surprised, is with a smoked white fish salad, which is the other 熏鱼 of Shanghai. Now, Shanghainese people in my comment section will hear this and go, blasphemy, you're bullshitting, I've never heard of this. That's because they weren't actually born in the French concession. They just lived in a place that's called the former Fazujie. But my grandpa, being born in 1934, grew up with memories of eating gefilte fish, chopped liver, matzo ball, and rye bread. And this is how I like to have it. A little mixture between my grandpa's historical childhood and my grandma's historical childhood. And if you guys are interested, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll tell you all about the Jews in Shanghai and what the Jews did for us and how the Jews built pretty much every beautiful thing that I admired walking through the streets of Shanghai as a kid. The families, the rise and fall, the history of the Bund from when my grandpa was alive until now. Well, he's still alive, but these years. Beautiful. Thank you so much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. Talk often, talk soon. Take care. It's funny to think that all this deeply Jewish food was everywhere in China in the 30s. Like Dongbei, Shanghai, both. Yeah. So what happened was in 1896, the Russians wanted to have a piece of railway in the late Qing dynasty, the China Eastern Railway, and the last stop was Harbin before they would go down to Mukden. So the Jews were Russian, Lithuanian, and Polish. Those three kinds of Jews, which is why we have Harbin Hongchang and kielbasa, braised brisket, pa niu she, braised oxtail, all Jewish food, Jewish deli food. But we served it hot with sauces instead of cold in a fridge. There was a very important Jew, Joseph Kasp, or Kaspe. He was the one who built the modern hotel on Central Street. He also built the modern Jewish synagogue, so he built the first big synagogue in Harbin. So yeah, we had Jews. The Orient, the Shanghainese had about 20,000. In Harbin, it was about 16,000. Like, in Shanghai, it was Jews. In Harbin, it was Jews. It's a lot of foreshadowing. I don't know if YouTube is gonna, like, shadow ban me for saying Jew too many times. Doesn't matter. All right, talk often, talk soon, take care, bye-bye.